and find a way to make your product or your sale personalized and customized so that it has more value and meaning.
Just wanna feel this moment. I just wanna feel this moment.
Please join me in welcoming Miss Jen Grover to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone feeling? I hope you guys are not in your glycogen decline right now after a big lunch, right? Everyone's energy up? This is an exciting day where you can maximize your energy and time with all of these relationships that you're developing. And I'm not going to sing or dance like Nobi did last night, although my last name is Groover, so I should be able to do that. But I am going to hook my wagon onto a topic that he was so passionately talked about last night, which is the importance of relationships. And the importance of relationships is something we can't deny. But we want to start with the relationship within ourselves first and foremost, because everything begins and ends with us. And often the relationship with ourselves is the one we ignore the most. And we need to master ourselves to master our lives, to make our lives easier, to maximize our potential, and to impact others at a way higher level than we think is even possible. I was speaking at an event earlier this week in Austin. Rosa happened to be there. I never met her in my life, but she was there, shout out, investing in her personal development and supporting other women grow their businesses. And a reporter asked me after, Jen, why do you think so many people don't maximize their potential? And I said it's because most people never even think about their potential. Most people don't take the time to reflect on what am I capable of doing? What's possible for me? Yes, we set goals. Yes, we have agendas and to-do lists, but most people don't really stop to think, what am I capable of? What is possible? And most people allow their future to be predicted by their past. And even worse, their future predicted by other people's limited beliefs. And when we master ourselves and we understand our potential, every single day of our lives, we can be the better version of ourselves than we were the day before. And life gets so much easier that way. Because when roadblocks do come up, and they do, we can get over them a lot faster. How many of you are Major League Baseball fans in this audience? Yeah? The Major League Baseball family lost somebody very significant this week, who I had the pleasure and fortune of knowing and working with, Roy Halladay. And I was so inspired by Roy because of his kindness, his compassion to others, his passion for the sport, and his passion to be the ultimate he could ever be. When he started playing baseball, he focused so much on the mechanics, making his body the best his body can be, and training as hard as he could train. And then he started playing, and he was doing really well, and he realized this focus on working his body and getting the mechanics down was doing so well for him. And then he was playing for the Blue Jays, and all of a sudden he got stuck. How many of you gotten stuck somewhere in your career? And instead of giving up, he kept trying to do the same thing he was doing over and over again. Like, wait, this training that I was doing was working so well for me. I just have to train harder and harder. So he continued to train harder and harder. And guess what? He found himself back in the minor leagues. And he was spiraling mentally and emotionally out of control at this moment, pure and utter frustration, until he read a book about the psychology of the game of baseball. And he reached out to the author and said, I need you to teach me. Help me. I am spiraling out of control and I am stuck. And what was working is not working for me to get to the next level. And that author became his mentor. And he taught him how to psychologically and emotionally take control of his life. Because it wasn't the mechanics that were holding him back. He had those mechanics down. It was what was going on in his head and what was going on in his emotional state that was making him spiral out of control, and he couldn't get out of his way. And shortly after working with this mentor, he found himself back into the major leagues. And then a Cy Young Award winner 2 times, pitching a perfect game and a no-hitter, and many, many accolades beyond. He understood that it wasn't the mechanics, but the foundation and fundamentals of all success is what's going on inside of our minds and inside of our emotional states. And you cannot get over the outer roadblocks until you get over the inner ones. But most people want to deflect and project and ignore those things. They want to make it other people's faults. They want to make it the limitations of other people when we could actually make it our own understanding and jump over those roadblocks so much more quickly. Because if we don't get over our own inner roadblocks, everybody else is going to be at fault for our limitations. So where does that begin for us? It begins with mindfulness. A commitment every day to mindfulness, to know the thoughts that you're thinking, the words that you're choosing. If you're choosing words like I can't, then you can't. And if you're choosing words like I am and I will and there is nothing stopping me, then there's nothing stopping you. In that introduction, you heard she wants to innovate and inspire in every vertical that she wants to play in. It's very intentional in my bio because I'm basically saying there is no limitation to any industry that I can be in. And I will not allow other people's limitations to become mine. And I'm very mindful of those words that I chose in the bio because of it. The words that you choose have effect on every person around you, especially as a leader, mostly within yourself. The thoughts you think, the words you choose, the people you surround yourself with. You've all heard that term. We are the 5 people we surround ourselves with the most. But not enough people really take inventory of, are these people inspiring me? Are these people holding me down? Are they holding me accountable? Are they holding me up? I like people that hold me accountable. I don't want to be surrounded by yes people all the time. I want to be surrounded by people who call me out on my stuff so I can live to my greatest potential. In that question, why don't people live to their potential? Because they don't understand what it is or how expansive it is. It is